Welcome back to my channel. This is Josephine and today I'm going to be making a focaccia. Focaccia is probably one of the easiest breads to make. It requires very minimal kneading, just a bit of resting, patience, and it's absolutely delicious. I'll be stuffing mine with olives, with rosemary, with sun-dried tomato, and I'll be making a sort of pesto dip to go along with it. So I can't wait to get started. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and let's go! For ingredients, we're going to need a pack of yeast, rosemary, olives, sun-dried tomatoes, 300 ml of water, olive oil, salt, pepper and 4 cups of bread flour. We're going to need sugar to activate the yeast. Mix the sugar into lukewarm water as well as your packet of yeast and leave that aside to rest for 5 minutes. I've just stirred it here to make sure they're all together. Then in a large mixing bowl, add your 4 cups of flour as well as some salt, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You can also add pepper at this point. Then, once your yeast is fluffy, you can pour that into the mixture. I've added a little bit of extra water, so adjust if necessary, but you're looking to have quite a wet dough. So I'm using a spatula here just to combine everything together, and as you can see it's a very shaggy, wet dough. Leave that to rest for about 5 minutes before using your wet hand to pull the dough. So just wet your hand so it doesn't stick too much, but I would repeat this pulling process where you pull the dough up and fold it over itself and then continue at least 6 times. Then your dough shall be ready to rest. Before resting, to keep the moisture locked in, we're going to coat the dough in olive oil. So I just pick up the dough, turn it around in the bowl and make sure that the olive oil has coated all of the outside layers, as you can see here. And then I'm going to cover that with a tea towel and leave in a warm place to rise for at least 1.5 hours. So now let's make the pesto. You need basil, garlic, salt, pepper, parsley, olive oil and nutritional yeast. So I'm going to roast 4 cloves of garlic. I'm going to just pierce the garlic so that they don't burst in the oven and the steam can be let out, and pop that in the oven. Now with a handful of basil and a handful of parsley, I'm going to put that into my blender along with some salt and pepper, of course, and about 2 teaspoons of nutritional yeast. You can adjust this as needed, and a good drizzle of olive oil. I would say 3 to 4 tablespoons. Your garlic will be nice and fragrant when it's ready, and you should be able to sort of squeeze the bulbs out into the mixture. Then I'm just going to pop that on to blend until smooth and taste it. If you want to adjust any of the seasonings, you can do as necessary, and you've got a lovely green spread. Set aside and check on your dough, which should now be at least doubled in size, as you can see. I'm going to start by preheating my oven to 200 degrees Celsius on fan and greasing my baking dish. I'm using a paella pan here, you can use any baking dish you like, and I'm simply pouring the dough into the dish and spreading it to all the corners, as well as just pushing a little bit of that air out. We're going to leave this to rest uncovered again for 30 minutes, so I like to make the initial dimples now. While it's resting, chop up your sun-dried tomatoes and olives into little pieces, and you can separate the rosemary if you like from the stem, as you can see I'm doing here, so that we can press those into the dough. Once your dough is risen again, you just want to make some dimples. Don't burst the bubbles that appear, and within those little textures you just add your pieces. I like to take my time to make sure each sort of mouthful has a bit of everything, and you just want to press those in and garnish with the rosemary, as you can see here. Now you're ready to pop it into the oven and leave that to bake for between 25 and 35 minutes. It should turn a really golden colour, crispy on top, like this, and then you're ready to remove it from the oven. You can serve this in the pan, but once it's out of the oven your house will be smelling like heaven, and what I like to do is just sort of shake it or use a spatula to just push it out of the pan and let it cool on a chopping board. It cools a bit faster this way, and also it's nice to present at the table. And there you are, you're done. Now you have a beautiful focaccia as well as a lovely pesto dip. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I'm going to leave some ASMR for you.